So are you struggling to generate leads and inquiries and ultimately paying customers from your podcast? Well, stick around because today I'm going to share podcasting mistake number 4 and what you should be doing instead. Hi, I'm Annemarie Cross, known as the Podcasting Queen, and I help aspiring thought leaders go from invisible to influential and profitable with a podcast. And this episode is part of a series where I'm covering 7 podcasting mistakes you'll want to avoid if you want to leverage your podcast to build your reach and build your reputation as that authority in your field so you can begin to monetize your message. So without any further ado, what is podcasting mistake number 4? Well, podcasting mistake number 4 is having broad and unrelated topics on your podcast, as well as inviting guests onto your podcast who are talking about unrelated broad topics as well. Now, when you want to be seen as an authority in your field, you need to be clear about exactly where and what topic you want to become known as that authority in. You really want to get clear on not only the topic, but also subtopics that add value to your community, that you know that when you share information and episodes about that particular topics in your podcast, it's going to continue to position you as that thought leader, position you as that expert, position you as an authority in your field. And so often what I see businesses do is they have a number of different guests, a number of different topics that are unrelated, or what they do is they don't provide context around that particular subject and how it's relevant and valuable and the outcomes that their audience is going to achieve through listening to that podcast. Let me give you an example. Many of you know that I came from the career industry working as a personal branding strategist, resume writer, interview coach, online profile. There was a lot of different services and programs that I offered my clients. So you would think that I was offering a number of diverse services, so a little bit like a jack of all trades and a master of none. But what I did was I made sure that I had an umbrella statement, a statement which was outcome focused. So my listeners and my audience knew exactly what they were going to achieve and the outcomes that they were going to gain through listening to the podcast. Whether I be talking about resume development, whether we be talking about interview coaching, job search coaching, finding a role you loved, and everything else in between, because it came under the umbrella of Career Success Radio and the topics and the guests that we would bring to the show. And then fast forward on from there, all of the other shows that I've had have been very niched as well. The Christian Entrepreneurs Show, the Ambitious Entrepreneurs Show. We knew that the topics were very much around entrepreneurs, business owners who are ambitious, who are driven, who wanted to become known as that influential voice in their industry. Women in Leadership podcast. Doesn't take rocket science to kind of understand the topics that I'm going to be talking about in Women in Leadership. And now, of course, my most recent podcast, which is Industry Thought Leader Podcast. So you see, you need to be clear on where you want to become known as that influential voice, where you want to be known as that industry thought leader, so that when people come to your podcast, they know that every single episode is going to be relevant, it's going to be valuable for them, even if you're talking about different subtopics. But more importantly, make sure that you provide context, that you share with people why the show is relevant, how it's going to help them, the solutions that it's offering, and also the challenges that your particular topic is going to help people overcome if they're struggling with it. So don't fall into the trap of having broad, unrelated topics, because that's one of the fastest ways that you will break the rapport or, not have people, because that's one of the fastest ways that you'll lose your audience's attention. And you don't want to get to the point where they'll unsubscribe because a number of shows that you have had back to back on your particular podcast has been irrelevant for them. So hope that was helpful. Let me know, DM me if we're not yet connected. If you want to find out how to go from invisible to influential and profitable and be seen as that thought leader, why not go and sign up for my free podcast series over at annamariecross.com/podcast series. That's annamariecross.com/podcast series. I'll see you in the next session.